If you're into sales, difficult conversations, you're having problems with your spouse, your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, cousin, your young man, whatever it is, if you're a human being basically with relationships, you're gonna need those books. Hello there, guys. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing great, my friends. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm going to talk about some books, and in this case, we're going to talk about the 3 last books I read. Talk about negotiation and difficult conversations. You know why? Because problems, most of all, arise from human relationships. And we either have 2 choices. Deal with them when they arise and they are small, or just let them build on and let resentment build inside of us and problems grow bigger until they explode and, well, they damage your life and your relationships and everything that surrounds them. And we don't want that. We don't want that at all, my friend. The first one is getting to yes. Boom! This is one of the classics of negotiation. It brings to the table a certain principle-based negotiation. What we usually do, what I almost always do and still do, is position-based negotiation. What is this? For example, I anchor myself to one point, the price, 10K, and you anchor yourself to another price, whatever it is, 20K. And then we just try to settle on that range. Well, and that can always, or most of the times, not end up satisfying what we truly want or underlying interests. Why? That's what we think is best. That's what we've been taught. So, there's an alternative to this kind of negotiation, and that is principle. What is that? Well, we can explore your interests, my interests, see where they match up, and try to settle on a better alternative. We try to create options that try to satisfy not only money, but also other underlying interests that we have, such as recognition, validation, power. I don't know. We all have different ones, but there are always certain untangible interests that we all carry with us, and we need to deal with them as well. It's not just money making, even though we almost always try to settle on that. So that's what you need. When you know that you can listen, try to find out each other's interests, try to invent new options, and then settle on objective criteria. What is that? The market price, standards that government has made, different laws, different things that are objective, meaning that they are some kind, and this standard objective criteria should be insisted upon. Why? Because they have been proved, or they have been used by people in the past, and in that way you can see that it's a good way to find a negotiation. So that's what you're gonna get from this book. You're gonna open your mind to see that there are different kinds of inquiries and questions that you can ask to get to the other person, find out what they're looking for, and then help them, and then help them, and then help them help you. How? If you help them get best out of the deal, perhaps you can get the best out of the deal. And sometimes people just say like, well, but how? I don't want to be soft and everything and people are going to step on me. Well, I thought so too. And these guys, they talk about being soft on the people and hard on the problem. And that is really interesting. Sometimes we just tangle up our feelings in people and actions. And that doesn't need to be the case. We can always just disentangle these things, go hard on the problem, know that you're going to be assertive and not going to negotiate some things. That's why you get something called a BATNA, Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement. I'm not going to spoil it. You should read it. That's going to give you security to negotiate with almost everyone and know that you can try to negotiate with a lot of people, even when you've got some paradigms that limit your ability sometimes. Then we got the second book, Getting Past No. This is an amazing book written also by the same authors of Getting Past Yes, William Murray and Roger Fisher. I believe both of them, or just one of them. I don't know. But this book, of course, you're going to have to tell me, Lex, there are some people that are malevolent or unbreakable and don't want to settle and are intolerant and won't help. They will never help you. Yes, of course, there will be that kind of people. But we can still rely perhaps on self-interest, These guys are trying to do this because they think that's the best for themselves. Well, maybe we can always get past that no. These guys have negotiated with terrorists, with criminals or hostage takers, whatever you call that, kidnappers, and they manage to negotiate with them. In that case, we can can try to negotiate with most of the people here. I mean, not terrorists and that kind of stuff. Perhaps we need a little bit more training to read one more book, and that'd be it. But we can try to negotiate with those hard people in our lives that won't seemingly budge. We all have our interests. We just need to listen. And this book will teach you that. Of course, it needs a lot of our part. It's not some manipulation technique that will get you anywhere you want. It's not some kind of formula that just, you click a button and everything's going to go your way. That's not the case. You need to open your mind and know that we have to change. I have to change. I have to change how I act, how I react to the other person, and sometimes pause that and try to understand, try to listen to the other person, and then just go to my little balcony. That means like stepping away from the situation in order to see what truly is going on. Negotiation is emotional. We are emotional beings. Those feelings and emotions are always going to be tangled up in there, and we need to deal with them by listening. And when we listen, we can get to the technical problems or the tasks that we want to solve. That is what you're going to get out of this book. It will teach you to take a different approach and to listen to those people that will tell you no. How do you get them to perhaps change their minds? Just by using these techniques. I don't want to spoil all of them. The most important one is just listening, man. Just listen. We sometimes get ego stuck and think our version is the ultimate version, the absolute truth. Me included all the time. I've read this book and I still do it all the time, my friends. Why? I don't know why. It's hard. Perhaps in 20 years, I'll be a better negotiator. I think I just fucked up my camera. Fuck. Well, whatever. You're going to get at the core of this book. And then, why did I read 3 books on negotiation? Because they're freaking hard, man. Dealing with human emotions, and that is basically negotiation. It's so important, so cool, so groovy. And I believe it's important because negotiation is not only business deals, making money. Negotiation is negotiating with your partner, your family, and having those difficult conversations that sometimes don't have this tangible end result like money, but it strengthens pardon my English. It strengthens the relationship. That is why Sheila Heen, I believe, wrote this amazing book called Difficult Conversations that I believe you need to read. Sometimes you're going to get these awkward talks when you're going to have to tell your spouse that you don't like something that he's doing, or you want to talk with your child about him or her smoking cigarettes, or just talking about something that matters to you. And if you grew up in a culture similar to mine, it might be extremely hard, and you might even be keeping this to yourself. But I don't think that's the way. It's just gonna build up inside of yourself. This resentment will blow up sometime, and it will damage your relationship, and you will probably do something really stupid, which I have done, I have experienced, and then you're gonna feel like, fuck, why did I do that? Who was that crazy guy possessed by the gods that tried to kill his wife? No, I'm just kidding. But this is why dealing with this kind of conversations or problems early on is way better than just leaving them to dust, so that it undermines your confidence, the confidence in their relationship, and your relationships. The basis of every difficult conversation is that we all have some kind of monologues going on when something is important to us in some way. We have feelings that are going on. We have an identity talk that is going on. And we have the what is going on, who is to blame for this. And what's amazing is that Sheila talks about these conversations as something really, what do you call it? Well, as human beings, we have them. Doesn't matter the religion, the culture, whatever. It seems that we have these kind of conversations within ourselves. Why? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to investigate more into that. But most of the time when we're having a difficult conversation, we're thinking, all right, who's to blame? Who fucked up? Who let the client walk away? Who broke the bicycle? Who installed the malicious software that dropped a virus that dropped and downloaded 30 porn videos onto our computer? Been there, done that. We're always looking for someone to blame. And that, well, might be something really unhelpful. It's not helping. Then the feelings conversation. Out of this, we're always thinking, all right, or not thinking, but we're expressing it somehow. You always betrayed me this way, and I can't believe you're trying to express some kind of emotion, all right? I'm angry, but we're not really good at saying how we're feeling at the time. I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, whatever. We've been taught that expressing emotion or feelings can be a sign of weakness, and it can actually be the other way around, because emotions and feelings just stop us. They block us from trying to see the bigger picture. And when you see that, you might actually have a whole new world and be able to proceed to fixing the task. And then we have an identity conversation, which mostly goes on in the back, I think. It's the back burner. We're always thinking, all right? Or when you get caught up in anger, this happens to me. I just go full defensive mode. I just don't notice, but when I reflect on it, I can see that something was at stake. Some of my deepest, most cherished values were being attacked somehow. And that attacks my personality, my identity to a certain extent. Example, my mom called me intolerant the other day that I claimed to have the absolute truth and didn't listen to people, and that just got me going. I was just withstanding myself, and I could hear myself in the inside just being like, and who are you to talk to me like this? Why are you saying this to me? You don't even listen to me half the time. And then I noticed that I was just being full defensive mode. This other person telling me this defies that. My truest values, or whatever my heart thinks I am, was being challenged. And that is when I go full blown mode. When you know one of these triggers, you might just be more susceptible to listen. And the funny thing is, when you know these triggers, you might be more capable of handling them in a more, what can we say, in a more nourishing way, you know? You can suspend some of your judgments and then try to address and disentangle whatever the other person's telling you, and then deal on with a conversation. And not just that, but being assertive. After you've seen this or whatever, you can express what you're feeling, what you would want, what you don't want, and set some limits. It's hard. It's really hard. This opened my mind in some ways that I didn't truly know, and I think it's really valuable to know this, and it gives me confidence, and I think it would give you confidence to start negotiating or start having these difficult conversations that are truly life. Our relationships are those difficult conversations. They're an opportunity to grow, strengthen that relationship, and who knows? I just know that magic might happen. So I think you could benefit from reading these books. I know I have. I know I might, or most definitely will, read them again. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know. Did you like this video? If you did, consider subbing to the channel. I will be talking about more videos and just, thinking up things that might be fun or entertaining to you guys. And that might teach me a thing or two. If that's your gig, subscribe. I hope you're having a great day. Peace out. Lex says goodbye.